And this has been my kitchen. My goodness, I am up to my elbows in tomatoes. And we had a whole box of tomatoes here. Some of them went bad, we had to toss them. Some of them went into sandwiches, and we still got a mess of tomatoes. Now, before they go bad, I want to do something nice with them and show you all how to make spaghetti sauce from scratch. Oh, come on, we're not going to do that again, are we? God, I really got to trim these things. But anyhow, first of all, we're going to need a boiling pot of water like this, and some cold water like that. Now, it's best if you had ice to add into that water to make an ice bath for these tomatoes, but since we don't have any ice, we're using the next best thing, and that's ice-cold water straight from the tap. Make sure it's as cold as can be, because we're going to need to cool these tomatoes down now after they're done boiling, and then we can peel them. And I'm going to show you a really simple, easy way to peel them. Now, since I don't have a paring knife either, I'm going to have to use one of these. This is a regular steak knife. Now, for coring tomatoes, you can use a paring knife. It's a lot easier that way. But if you don't have a paring knife and you're using a steak knife, you will need to grip it right about there. Very carefully too, because your finger is going to be right around that, along that blade. So if you grip it on the side right here with your fingers, and you can core a tomato just like with using a regular paring blade, but you won't worry about the knife going into your hand on the other side. If you like something bumps you or somebody bumps into you, you know, because working with knives is a very serious thing. So how to core tomatoes, we're going to get out just a regular ordinary bowl, and we're just going to take the core right out of the top of that tomato there, and any area that may be bruised will come out of there as well. As bruised tomatoes are still okay as long as they are not over-ripened. You just cut the bruise away from them and they're fine. Now on the bottom we're going to cut a small X on the bottom. And when we drop them into the boiling water for about a minute, they don't need to be in there very long. Come in, take that out of there. I'm also going to take out that bruised part here. Like I said, these tomatoes are in need of being worked with. Something that we can do with them before they go bad. And we're just going to cut away that bruised part there and make the X on the bottom. The reason for doing this is so that the peel can be lifted easily from the tomato and you can easily peel these tomatoes right off. There's a little bit of bruising there, that's okay, and we'll just mark it with an X on the, might be helpful if we did it like that, the pointy side down there. Okay, continue on for as many tomatoes as you got. Now, when you core a tomato too, it's also best if you hold your tomato at an angle. That way, you get the core right out of there. So, right at about a 45-degree angle, just work the tomato around, let the knife do the work. Okay, we're going to mark that bottom with an X. Okay. We're going to turn down our water before it gets too hot. Because I just needed you to start boiling. Okay, so tip end in, twirl the tomato around, remove the core, mark the bottom with an X like so. And do this for as many tomatoes as you have. About 4 pounds is what this recipe is going to call for. About 4 pounds. I got 7, so I'm going to add extra ingredients just to accommodate everything and make everything as consistent as possible. Yep. Too far. Be careful when you're marking your X. Don't want that knife to slip and cut your fingers. Sometimes you do need the aid of the knife to get through any tough skin that might be there. X in the water. I'm only doing a few of these at a time so I can show you how easy it will be to prepare your tomatoes for saucing. Here's the next there. Okay, we'll do one more and then we'll start taking those tomatoes out and putting them in that ice water bath without the ice. Backwards on the blade there because the sharpest point is the point. Now when your tomatoes, you notice that X that you made on the bottom of them, when they start coming away from the tomato, you know they're ready. We can skin them because you need these tomatoes to be skinned. Mainly because it's not going to taste very well in your sauce if you have tomato skins in there. What's going to happen is those skins are going to harden and you're going to be constantly spitting out pieces of skin in your sauce. And you don't want any tomato skins in your sauce. You want them to be perfectly peeled and ready to go for the food processor we have over there. And that's where we're going to add all the rest of our other ingredients. And we're just going to take a look at our tomatoes, the bottoms. See how well those skins are coming up. So we're going to take one of them and just drop them right into that water there and see. Just let them rest for a little bit until you can handle them. And then, as you can see, there's the skin. So let's go ahead and remove our tomatoes. This first round of tomatoes, drop them right into that ice bath there, or our ice water bath. It's not necessarily an ice bath without the ice, but we're doing what we can here. And this is how Italian people will show you how to do their sauce. You know what I'm talking about? This is how Grandma's Italian kitchen would operate. Grandma would go out from Sicily to get bunches and bunches and bunches of tomatoes, and she would make sauce from scratch. And this is how Grandmama would do it from Italy. Of course, I'm not Italian, but I'm pretty sure a lot of mamas from Italy do this very thing.
Well, Larry's does it this way.
Mama Michelina, she sure does. So now, while those are boiling, we're going to go ahead and show you how easy it is to peel tomatoes. There it is, just comes right off. Comes right off where we made the X. From the bottom to the top. Bottom to the top, from the bottom to the top, from the bottom to the top, and bottom to top. Make sure that all the skin is removed from your tomato. There's a little piece here that got stuck there. Okay, perfect. And now, with a peeled tomato, we're just going to drop it right down into our food processor, go for our next one, and continue to do the same for however many tomatoes that you plan on making. May have something to do with little Richard.
I probably was, yeah.
Because he was in the movie Purple People Eater.
Oh, that's right, he was. So they were probably just doing a thing for him. Doing a tribute to him, probably, more than likely.
Being a little on the stubborn side. So, that being the case, just find where the skin is. And use the paring knife to help lift it out of there. And with your thumb, pull it against the metal of the knife. So, just like that. This one's being a little stubborn. It wasn't quite done as much as we wanted it to be, but oh well. And with that paring knife, you can get that skin off just as easy as can be. Of course, it would help if I had a sharper knife, but oh well. This method might take pieces of the tomato off with it, but at least it takes the skin. That's what we're after, is the skin. There we go. A little piece, little sliver here. A little piece there. That's good enough.
You can leave all of it if you want.
Okay, well, those tomatoes will be fine. This is starting to fill up. So, if you have just a food processor, make sure that's secured. Yes, it is. Make sure that is secured, and now it is. It's locked in place, so now we're going to... puree our tomato. Alright, that's very tomatoey, very liquidy. That's perfect. Alright, so this is what your tomato puree should look like. It's like that. Nice liquid form like that. All the juices from the aromas, plus the meats are in there of the tomato, and the seeds and everything else. But the only thing that's not in there are the skins, thankfully enough. A few extra pulses, and you can make it as... Now this would be a good consistency for salsa. If you want a little more liquid, pulse it up a little more. And that is good enough. Boy, that smells really strong of tomato.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Alright, that should do it. more pureed tomato. That was perfect. That's a perfect consistency right there.
Yeah.
And look, it filled up our bowl perfectly, so I didn't have to use that big one. But I actually now need to use... Well, this can get all chucked, because we don't save these. They get thrown right away. And remove the water from here. Okay, now what we're going to do is going to add a tomato puree. That's what this is, tomato puree. It's not sauce yet, it's just tomato puree. That's all that's in there, is just pureed tomatoes. Not one single bit of skin in those tomatoes. Okay, now what we're going to do is going to put this on a low heat, or a medium, low medium, and we're going to use this to stir our sauce. And that's just plain pureed tomato. So I'm going to show you some extra ingredients to turn that pureed tomato into spaghetti sauce. We are going to start with just a little bit of dollop of olive oil. Just about that much. Doesn't need much in olive oil, but this is for 7 pounds of pureed tomatoes against the 4 pounds that this recipe would normally call for, so I added a little extra. And you can add all of this stuff to taste, because everybody's taste is going to be different. We're going to add about a teaspoon of sugar, so for 4 pounds. For 7 pounds, a teaspoon and a half. I'm just going to eyeball that. There we go. And this will sweeten it up a bit. Give it that tangy sensation that you get from sauce. Mix that in until it's well incorporated. Okay. Next, we're going to turn this less bland with some salt. We're going to need about a teaspoon and a half of salt. Again, because of the volume that's in there, we are needing to break down the blandness that it creates from just plain old tomato, and add salt. Next, we're going to add about 3 cloves worth of garlic. If you have this amount, you might want to add about 5 cloves worth of garlic.
You might need a a smaller spoon there.
I think I need a smaller spoon. Fortunately, we have smaller spoons. That'll be 2 cloves of garlic. That's 3 cloves worth. That'll be 2 more. That's 4 and 5, and let's add 1 more for measure. 6. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to need onion in there. Let's go ahead and distribute our garlic really good. Now we're going to add about a half a teaspoon, or half a tablespoon rather, of onion powder. And you can use cut onion, you can use those hydrated onions or dehydrated onions. Onion powder if you want to, a little bit more of that, it won't hurt. Okay. Some Italian seasoning is a must, and what I'm using is the mix of Italian seasoning. We're going to need a lot of this. We're going to need about 2 tablespoons worth of that for this volume, but 1 tablespoon if you're using the standard 4 pounds of tomatoes. Now the Italian seasonings will consist of some oregano, basil, some cardamom, and a little bit of thyme. And all of that mixed together makes a wonderful Italian seasoning. So use about a 1/4 teaspoon of each of those seasonings. And we're going to get it really robust with that Italian, the sense of Italian eatery. Okay, next, to give it a little bit more tang, I recommend a splash of red wine vinegar. Once again, because of the doubling up, that's about 2 splashes worth of red wine vinegar. Otherwise, you would only use just a splash. Okay, and it looks a lot more like salsa than sauce. But remember, we're also adding some of the chunks of tomato that did not get pureed, to give it a little bit of chunkiness. Now, you can also add your own vegetables. You can add chopped green pepper. You can add diced onions, diced tomatoes, sliced mushrooms if you want to. Okay, so let that set. I'm going to put these to the side in case we need more. We will use more. And for an ultimate important ingredients, 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Okay, so let me get that out of there. Now get the scraper and add our tomato paste right into our sauce. We're going to need the whole can of tomato paste, and what this will do is it is going to thicken our sauce to a level more enjoyable for spaghetti and not for drinking, because this would be good for salsa. We're not quite done yet though, because we need to thicken this up. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to break that down, get that mixed in really well. And as your sauce cooks, all these ingredients will be well incorporated within each other. I'm going to go down in here and make sure that we got all that tomato paste incorporated. Look at that big chunk of tomato paste. No, we didn't. So, if you need to find where your tomato paste is, kind of smash it down with your spoon a bit, stir it in, until you notice that your sauce begins to thicken a little. And it's starting to thicken a little right now. So, and there's a little bit more there. Smash it down with a spoon, stir it. Okay. Go down and see if you got it all incorporated in. Not quite, there's still a bit there. I'm trying to do this as carefully as possible so that way I don't lose enough of my sauce. Oh, that fell down, I'll get it in a moment. Okay, so now your sauce should be thickening up nicely. It's still going to look like salsa, folks, but there's nothing you can do to help that. Because this is also how we make salsa. Only we use different ingredients than we're using here.
Yeah, you actually use, you actually use other things for the
Sure do,
salsa.
like chili powder, cayenne pepper, hot sauce. You mix all of that together to make a really nice salsa. Bell peppers, jalapeno peppers if you want to. In fact, I should show you how to make a restaurant-style salsa sometime too. But not tonight. Tonight is all about being Italian. Cinco de Mayo is already past. That don't mean that we can't still celebrate it. Okay, now use your spoon and kind of look over your work and see if you got all that tomato paste incorporated in. And if you did, and your sauce is thickening, you know you've done it right. Now that would be for 4 pounds of tomato sauce, but I'm going to need the assistance of more tomato paste if I have any more tomato paste. Okay, here it is. And once again, this will really thicken the sauce up when you use the 2 cans of tomato paste, or 1 large can for this volume. But since we have more than 4 pounds going, we're going to need more than 6 ounces worth of tomato paste. So it's coming along, but not what the consistency we need. Now we're going to squash it down like we did before to the bottom of the pan and the sides of the pan, or the pot, rather. Squish, stir. There we go. Now we're thickening up. Look at that. Now we're starting to thicken. Still looks kind of like salsa, but now because of the darker color from your paste, it's starting to look like spaghetti sauce now. So just give it a good stirring there. Make sure you got every single little nook and cranny of that paste. And there's a little bit more I can just extract right into there, and that'll just cook up right nicely. Okay. Okay, so that's the perfect amount. So look at all that sauce. That's 7 pounds of tomatoes made. And now the ultimate question. Shall we proceed, or do we need more ingredients? That's where the tasting comes in. So, if you're very concerned about sanitation, then take a little spoon of sauce, take your finger, do like that. Needs more garlic. The salt's perfect, the sugar is perfect, the vinegar, no, the vinegar is perfect, it needs more garlic. So I'm going to add some garlic powder to this. About that much. That's about how much garlic is needed.
That's going to help thicken it up too.
Not necessarily.
No?
It's going to help the flavor.
It just helps the flavor.
The thickening comes from the paste.
That's
Now once that paste gets cooked in, you're going to see some really thick sauce. Not too much thicker, but it really starts to improve there. And now it's starting to really look like spaghetti sauce there. And once again, ooh, that's coming along. That is coming along beautifully. And it tastes so fresh. It is night and day. It really is. If you're used to eating sauce from a jar and then go to make your own, the difference is night and day, I'm telling you. Make your own sauce from time to time. It'll really come in very handy. It'll show that you have a little savoir-faire in the kitchen for making an abundance of different things. And if you can make things from scratch, then you can control the ingredients that go into it. Let me try another test worth. Third finger this time. It tastes fresh. It tastes pleasant. It tastes like you're eating in the botanical gardens. And if you don't believe me, let's have Wolf Dog try it.
Oh, you're going to have me try, huh?
Try.
Okay.
And compare it to that of canned or jar spaghetti sauce.
Okay, let's give this a shot. Oh yeah, that definitely is. Unfortunately, people, you're not going to be able to taste that unless
you make it at home.
Unless you make it.
That's right.
That's actually really good, though.
It is, isn't it? So I am going to add one more ingredient that I know. And the flavor is there. Now we just need to put a little kick in it. Black pepper. About 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper for this volume of spaghetti sauce. There we go. And this will give it a little kick. Not too much of a kick, but a nice one indeed.
Yeah. I just got that pepper dust just going right at me.
That happens. That will happen in the kitchen. Okay. Incorporate the black pepper. And if you also want to, throw a couple of bay leaves on the top of this while it boils. Now you're going to leave this cooking for a while. This will probably be cooking for about an hour, maybe 45 minutes. We can get away with 45 minutes. That's the top of one of those tomatoes. Okay, now let's try it again. Bada bingo. A little more black pepper.
I'm standing away from the black pepper.
A little more black pepper will do it. And I'm thinking a little bit, as it didn't really seem to taste much onion. So what I'm going to do with that, do I'll just add, for an extra oniony flavor, a tablespoon and a half of minced onion. This is, and you know, the ingredients, whatever you could put in here to make it your flavor, make it your own recipe, give it your own flair to it, whatever tastes good to you, you add it, mix it in, cook the heck out of it. Oh, that's it, that's it, that is it, that is it, that is it, that is it. Oh, perfect, it doesn't need anything else. That is it. That is it. Well, Doug, try it now.
Oh no, what did you do? Let's see.
Try it now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think
That's it.
Yeah, that's definitely...
That is it.
That works.
That is it. So, don't need anything else done to that. We are going to cover and lower the heat. Lowering the heat ensures the bottom of your pans won't be burnt too much. And also ensures that this stuff will cook. All those flavors will incorporate. You'll need to stir occasionally. But all you need to do now is make your favorite noodles. Spaghetti noodles, rotini noodles, rigatoni noodles, anything you want to. You can even make this in a ravioli if you want to. You can make this in a sauce in lasagna if you want to. It goes a long way. Anything Italian with Italian noodles that you can think of, you can throw it with this. It'll be absolutely perfect. So let's recap what we've done. We've taken 7 pounds of Roma tomatoes, pureed them. We skinned them, then we pureed them. Once they were pureed, we put them as a set.
Excuse me.
There's that pepper talking.
Yeah, there's that pepper. It came back finally.
Once they were properly pureed, we set them aside, and then we went ahead and did all the tomatoes pureed. Then we added our garlic, our onion powder, our salt, our sugar, our vinegar, got the base going, and then we added more ingredients on top of that, your Italian seasonings. We added about 1.5 tablespoons of Italian seasonings for the amount that we're making here. If you're only making 4 pounds worth, you only need 1 tablespoon, or maybe more if your taste really wants to get that extra measure of seasoning. Then you use a little more, but always add it to taste. Then we added our cloves of garlic. Then we added some minced onions. We've added our pepper. We've mixed it all together, and we tasted along the way to see what else it was missing. And we've got it nailed perfectly. Don't forget your tomato paste. 1 can per 4 pounds. So we use 7 pounds. We're still in the mark for 2 cans. So that is how you make your spaghetti sauce. And now all you need to do is get some spaghetti noodles. I happen to have a big bag of spaghetti noodles right over here. And so we're going to be making a good majority of those noodles to go along with that sauce. And next time, if we have any left over, which I doubt, I figure we can use some of this rotini with it. But that will be for a later date. But right now, I got a hell of a lot of mess to clean up. Stirring occasionally. We're going to let this cook for a while. Let it stir. You definitely want to keep those flavors going. Don't let it sit there for too long. Or if you really want to, put this in a crock pot and slow cook it. You can do that too. But look at that smell. Oh, that is so pleasant. Such a pleasant smell when you make sauce from scratch. Let me tell you, folks, nothing in the world is finer than freshly made spaghetti sauce. So what we're going to do after this sauce cooks, we're going to throw it with some spaghetti noodles, do a taste test, and then we'll send you on your merry way into making your own spaghetti sauce for your own kitchen. So tune in, and we will throw all this together and see how it tastes. Love to see you then. Well, we've done cooked everything. We got the noodles already made. We've made some garlic bread over here, which we've taken some just plain old Italian bread, sliced it up, and brushed over some garlic and butter mix that I melted in the microwave for about 15 to 20 seconds. Mixed it up really good, brushed it over our bread, but what I'm really impressed with is how well our sauce came out. Look at that. There is our spaghetti sauce. Everything that we've made up until now is in it. With the tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, peeled. and pureed. And then we added the garlic and the onions, the minced onions, and we added our Italian seasoning, onion salt, a little garlic salt, some pepper, regular table salt, red wine vinegar, and anything else you can add in there for flavor. So let me serve up a serving of spaghetti. Man, it's smelling like an Italian kitchen. Oh yes. Okay, now let's add some of our sauce to it. Ooh, it even looks like spaghetti sauce. Well, it's supposed to, because we followed a recipe to make spaghetti sauce. So, if it doesn't look like spaghetti sauce, then you've got problems. Look at that sauce. Homemade from scratch. This is going to make an awesome sauce. And you've heard about people say awesome sauce before. That's what they're referring to, this stuff. Get a nice hearty, a little bit more there so I can get some on my garlic bread there. Okay. And put this plate aside and we will plate it up in a moment. Let me get some cheese on it. Do a little taste testy.
Taste testy?
Tasty testy. And that's about half of what was in there, and that's not going to be very much. And let's get a fork. It's a spoon. I want both. There we go. Let's try this spaghetti sauce. Mmm. Okay. Doesn't really have the thinness that canned sauce has because we've added 2 cans of tomato paste. So let's see if our garlic bread holds up to the taste with just a little bit on it. It's a very thick sauce.
Yeah, it's not runny.
That's good. I feel good. So now, there's a big open spot that has no sauce on it. I'm a saucy kind of guy and I love my sauce.
Now you're now is it ready to eat with the spaghetti?
That steam coming off of there? I don't know. Oh my God. This is amazing. There has been never any jar of spaghetti sauce that I've ever had that came out just this good. I am being dead serious. Because I am a spaghetti connoisseur. I have tried spaghetti sauce from here to Timbuktu. Not one single jar of sauce, not one single establishment has ever made spaghetti sauce the way this turned out. And oh my God, it's amazing. So try it at home. You will not be sorry. Follow the ingredient list like we did here and you saw us do here. You will be amazed at how good this can taste. Because you get to control the flavors and you know what's in it and you've made it from scratch. I gotta stop doing that. For Cooking with SonicBlu, this is SonicBlu Darkfold, hoping that all of your meals turn out like this. And remember, if you're not cooking good, you're not eating good. And this is some good eating. So try it yourself and see what you've been missing out on. Bye for now, and we'll see you on the old poppet side.
Nah, I don't
Water
think.
is supposed to.
I probably wouldn't put any more since we got like. And there goes the knife. At least you avoided. At least your foot avoided though.
Yeah.
At least the foot avoided the knife.
exit. Oh, never mind. No, okay, once you drop it in there, don't reach for it again.
Yeah, don't do that. You just put your hand in boiling water there.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, don't do that. You don't want. I don't think you want your hand to turn into it.
I mean, I can do
what's
it.
gonna happen to the tomatoes?
I can do it. It's just that I wasn't prepared to reach into boiling water. I had to prepare myself before I reached my hand into boiling water.
And you didn't that time.
I did not. And now, drop everything on the floor.
At least you're done with that anyway.
Yes, and I'm done with this. Another spoonful of noodles helps the spaghetti sauce go down. Spaghetti sauce go down when you make it all yourself.
Oh, wow. Let's just hope you don't get sued by Disney.
It's parody and fair use, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
But... Ooh, that's hot. Ooh, that's gonna be hot. That's gonna be hot.
You're not ready yet.
I'm not ready to do a taste test.